Let's get right into audience questions for this week. First one's interesting, relates to a few different things we've talked about over the last few years. And the question is, what is the most likely future of socialism in the United States? If you watched the recent State of the Union addresses from Donald Trump, you would know that this powerful, defiant declaration that the U.S. will never be a socialist country is both an impossible prediction to make, because the truth is we're terrible at predicting things even 5 years out. Who knows what the U.S. could look like 20, 30, 50, 100 years out. But it's also it's meaninglessly propagandistic in the sense that there's no threat that the U.S. is about to become socialist, despite Donald Trump continuing to campaign on Biden's been taken over by the socialists. The people Trump claims are controlling Biden aren't by and large actual socialists. And certainly there's nothing socialistic about Joe Biden's policy. So the fear mongering about the U.S. becoming socialist is very, very silly, but it does seem to at least activate some of the people on the right. But I think those people are mostly supporting Donald Trump anyway. I think it's essentially a wash. So then we get to a Trump-free discussion of the possible future of socialism in the United States. As I have said before, I have seen no evidence that if the U.S. is to become a socialist country, and again, this is not about my views. I'm not a socialist. I'm a social democrat, which is a form of highly regulated capitalism. If the country is to become socialist, I believe that you would need to see, first of all, actual socialists have some amount of power in the United States. Now, this could be socialist groups or socialist politicians. Right now, I don't see either. And I believe it would be incremental. It would go through social democracy. Accelerationism is the idea, when applied to socialism, capitalism, that by accelerating capitalism, which some socialists believe will fail, some Marxists, some communists believe will fail, you accelerate the eventual revolution that will turn the country socialistic. Much has been said theoretically about that and written theoretically about that. I believe that in practice, at this point in time, again, in 5 years, maybe I'd have a different view because things dramatically change. Right now, I don't see how, for example, giving Trump another 4 years and cutting regulations and giving more market power, I don't think that if that causes a breakdown, it results in the United States becoming socialist. And so this is why I've said time and again to actual socialists, of which there are relatively few in the United States, many of the people who even think they are socialists aren't really socialists. For now, you should just be joining the fight for social democracy, because the path to, or let me put it a different way, the best proof that the United States should go in that direction would be to go in that direction. And that would mean looking at healthcare more like Northern European countries look at it, looking at taxation more the way Northern European countries look at it, look at education, social welfare programs, etc. In the last decade, we have seen socialists go from really more of an insult and not something many people would use to describe themselves to kind of like a pretty ho-hum, it's just a word. It's almost become like progressive, although it means very different things, where Trump says all his opponents are socialists. Very few people really believe it. Young people are more okay with the term than we've seen people be in a very long time. So I think that, and it's not for me to give advice to the actual socialists not being one, but if you are an actual socialist, you should capitalize on the most positive or least negative view of socialism that there's been in the U.S. in a long time by pushing the country in any ways that are possible in that direction. The best argument you can make for socialism being great would be for social democracy to work really well. And if we ever got to that point, then I and the socialists would be on different sides. But right now, even though many of the socialists believe they're on a different side than me, the next step, whether you want social democracy as the endpoint or you want socialism as the endpoint, would be to move in that direction when it comes to all of the major areas of policy in the United States. It's certainly not going to happen with another 4 years of Donald Trump.